Hello and welcome to another episode of the Chaos Chronicles.
Navigating the randomness.
I'm Jess.
I'm Connie.
And we have hit our 1 year.
Hey!
Yay!
Oh my gosh. For those who watched our very first episode and decided to stick with us, thank you.
That, it was bad.
It was well intentioned.
I don't know what else to say about it.
No. It was
Very squirrely.
incredibly. We barely mapped out anything. We just kind of basically recorded more or less what a normal conversation for us was.
Crossed our fingers and hoped for the best is how we started this.
Yeah, very much so. And here we are.
Because we didn't even have lights or anything at that point.
Oh my God, you're right.
Yeah. we didn't have these mics either.
We had the little clip mics. We didn't have 2 stands for phones, did we? Wow.
We've come a long way.
Come a long way. You guys can't see what's behind the camera, and we're not adjusting cameras now because we figure out angles beforehand. But like on the background, things have improved a lot.
So we've officially been around for a full year of posting.
Yes. Recording, we already passed the year. We're at 13 months of recording technically. Yep. But on air for you guys, it has been a year. Our first release was March
6th,
2023.
24.
Oh. Oh no.
Oh gosh.
Time is hard.
Yeah. Well, so for this episode, it is going to be different than what we have been normally doing on our Wednesdays. So we thought that it would be a fun idea to have a more like get to know us episode.
Yeah, so the original intent of the podcast, which if you've ever looked at the description on any of our social medias, which are linked below, you should like, subscribe, and follow, hit that notification bell. We planned this to be like let's just talk about life. Let's like have the girlhood, the sisterhood, like tune in, join us, have fun.
More whimsical and upbeat and happy.
Not as much true crime, murder, and mystery.
No.
Not that we don't like those things, but just not the direction we saw this going.
Very unexpected. Yeah, so we're going to have some fun this episode, and I have asked ChatGPT, our good friend at this point, I have asked ChatGPT to give me a list of a whole bunch of questions. We're not going to answer all of them, but I think that this will be a lot of fun for us and hopefully entertaining for you guys to get to know me and Connie a little more.
Yes. And sticking with our Wednesday tradition as of late, I don't know the questions.
Well, luckily, there's no trigger warning.
Thank God. Wow, when's the last time we had a Who Knows What Wednesday without a trigger warning?
Can't remember.
I honestly think, oh my goodness, it might have been the second episode where we talked about weddings, and then after that we went right into like toxic relationships and it's de-outlive past. And wow.
I do remember saying in one of our episodes, there's no trigger warning for this one other than, the typical murder. But
yeah.
I don't even remember what that one was, though.
I don't either. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there's been a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've consistently released at least one, but really 2 a week since I think like April.
Let me go back and look and see when we started doing 2 a week, because that was pretty early on though too.
That's why I want to say it was like April.
Looks like the second Saturday in April.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So no, there's been at least a Wednesday episode every single week since the second Saturday in April. There has been a Saturday episode every single week.
Except for last Saturday, sorry.
Except for last Saturday, sorry guys.
Yeah, I needed a mental health break.
Yes, and there may be potential little breaks in the near future just because of my schedule and commitments that I have made. But we will let you guys know as that comes about. For now, we'll just plan on Wednesday and Saturday episodes, but that's a lot of episodes.
It's a ton.
That is a ton. So for sure, Wednesday episode's 52 because it's been a year.
We are actually, because I do put the episode numbers on the bottom for our Wednesdays. I don't keep track for Saturdays because it does not make sense to keep track of that. This will be episode 57.
57
for
of
Wednesdays.
Wednesday episodes. That's right, because we had a couple of double releases. Oh,
We
yes.
did. Yep, back when I did not have a job.
Yes, and back when I only had a job
Yeah.
and no other responsibility.
Yeah. Times have changed.
They have.
Which, speaking of, shall we hop into some of these questions?
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, wait, do I need to stop my train of thought until we get into the questions?
Maybe, because we might start answering some of these questions.
Train of thought. What?
Train of thought.
Train of thought has been stopped.
Okay.
Train of thought stopped, then that's what came out.
So ChatGPT has broken down these questions into 3 little categories. We have podcast related questions, personal life and career, and fun and random.
Okay.
So we're going to start with the podcast related. What inspired us to start Chaos Chronicles? Well,
the honest answer is that we have had so many conversations over the years where one of us will say something and we're like, oh, we should have a podcast. That's funny. Or we shouldn't have a podcast. We shouldn't say that. Yeah, that's kind of where it started. And I don't remember when it became like a solid, went from like a joke that we said to let's actually do it.
I think it was because I needed another hobby while I was in school. I think that's why.
Yes.
And I was with a whole bunch of entrepreneurship stuff. I was very deep into the entrepreneurship mindset, and I was like, we're going to do it. We're doing it.
I take it back. I do remember that phone call. I was fixing...
Oh, you remember? I don't remember.
I remember the phone call because I was fixing the couch and like I was behind it and I was like straightening stuff out, and we're on one of our many, many phone calls that last multiple hours. Never FaceTime, just spearphone. And you were like, no, there's a deal on podcast equipment on Amazon. I want to do it. And I was like, why not? Let's do it. And after we got off that phone that night, I remember telling Johnny, I'm like, we're going to do a podcast. And he was like, interesting. And I'm like, yeah, we're going to do a podcast. I was like, okay, now what? What do we do?
Yeah, there was a huge learning curve.
There was.
For both of us and for many different aspects of this.
Oh my God. I just remember in the weeks leading up to us publishing, we batch recorded a decent amount of episodes. And it's even more impressive when you look at how long those first couple episodes are.
Yeah. I remember, I think Dyatlov Pass took us like 4 hours to record. I'm fairly certain it was around the 4-hour mark.
It was a long time. And not all of that obviously made it into the episode.
No.
But like we were still trying to figure out how to do like dog breaks because we had both dogs together and there was so much. But in those weeks leading up to publishing, my mom was one of our biggest supporters, which as moms are. But I remember we were at the funeral for my uncle in January and she's nudging me and she goes, go tell people about your podcast. Go tell your uncle. Go tell the other uncle, not the one who had passed away. And she's like, yeah, go tell people. Like, go tell them. Like, tell them about this. Tell them where to find it. Tell them it's going to be on Spotify. And I'm like, Mom, I don't know if I should be sharing all this to the family yet. And she kept elbowing me. So I did start telling people, and they're like, you're doing a podcast? I'm like,
Uh-huh.
Jess and I, remember from my wedding, Jess? Yeah, we're doing a podcast. I was so awkward. I was terribly awkward. I did not promote well.
No, I didn't either. That took a long time. And even still, there are select people that I don't tell, but I am more open to like when I went back to working as a paramedic, I was like all my coworkers know. I'm like, yeah, I have a podcast. It's just something fun that I do. It has been so helpful though,
It has.
in so many ways that I didn't imagine it. Like going for job interviews, being able to think on the spot more and be able to not only think on the spot, say things on the spot.
Yes. Yes. It's definitely sped up our ability to parse through difficult things in our head before saying them
Yep.
on recording.
Yep.
Which, I mean, is honestly a lot like a job interview.
Yeah.
You're basically being recorded in a way. It's given us a lot. Honestly, I'd say it's given us all like good things from this podcast.
Yeah, so far, knock on wood, nothing bad has come out of this.
No, I mean, occasionally there's one or two comments on YouTube, but
I just choose to ignore.
same.
It's not worth my time to respond.
No, and honestly, the way I view negative comments online is that it's telling me everything about the commenter, not the person they're actually commenting on.
Right.
Because I've seen so many things where it's like a wonderful feel-good story, and then someone in the comments will just say something completely unrelated and just awful. And it's like, oh,
What was the reason for that?
why?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like the only kind of No, okay, not true, actually. No, you and I both know this. We are much more paranoid than we were a year ago when it comes to making sure doors are locked, windows are locked, security system on, checking cameras. I don't know if that's a bad thing.
We're hyper aware of things now.
Yes. We're well informed.
Yes. Well, on that note, how has the podcast changed since your first episode?
Well,
I figured that was a good segue.
that's a really good segue. How would you characterize the change?
We thought this was going to be a very positive, heartwarming, lovey-dovey, inspiring podcast. We were, if you were to see we still have that notes on our phone.
Oh my gosh, we do.
We shared what is it called? Just the notes in the
notes
iPhones?
apps. Yeah. A shared note.
Yeah, a shared note.
Yeah.
And we would just, whenever we had like a random idea of what we could do for an episode, we would throw it in there. And I'm talking, it was anything and everything. Like, I remember one episode was going to be about like sleepwalking. Another one was going to be about exercising. And
There was, of course, our phones are in use.
I know, I wish I could pull it up from my laptop.
I know. Honestly, that list was so long and chaotic. It actually pushed us into, let me rephrase, it pushed Jess into being more, or Jess is the project manager, executive producer, director of this podcast. I am just really here for commentary, most of it out of pocket. But like, that pushed us to actually have a lot more structure.
Yes.
Because you and I would open the notes and we'd be updating it during the day. Like, I'd be at work. One of my clients would say something on the phone and I'd be like, oh, I like that idea. And so like after the call, I'd quickly add it to the note and we'd get alerts when each other added. And it was just this massive, massive list.
That reminds me, because I organized that list. Remember, I put it in our shared. Yep. So we have like Cleopatra in here. We have.
I was just thinking, I want to get back into some of those historical biographies.
We have the war dogs in World War I and II.
That's right.
Food allergies.
Oh my God.
Mental attitudes. Switching careers.
Oh my God.
I know, we were so full of hope for this podcast.
Oh no. I mean, it's good. And I think as a goal for the next year, we should start sprinkling in some happy ones. But I did not remember on the list, or I do not remember on the list, anything about necrophilia.
That's been an unfortunate
theme.
Very unfortunate theme.
Very unfortunate theme. Like, a lot of the episodes honestly, since Joan of Arc, I think, was the last one that we did before we went into like the Dyatlov Pass and the true crime and all that. Or was it, did we do Dyatlov and then Joan?
We did Dyatlov first and then Joan.
Then Joan, okay.
But Joan was really the start of the downfall. I'd say downfall, but like the start of all of the true crime.
The left turn.
Yeah. After that one, we really dove deep into the true crime, and you guys seemed to like it, so we stuck with it. And then we just kept our Twilight because
we hate ourselves.
Like, actually, it is getting better. I will say, the last book is getting better. The first one was painful.
That one we did a chapter, an episode.
Yeah, that too. That really drug it out.
Well, yeah, it was 25 chapters, including the epilogue. I think we did start combining at the very end.
We did, yeah. But in the beginning, it was one chapter at a time.
Yeah. Those are long recording days.
We're like, okay, chapter 1. Now chapter 2. But we've moved past it.
We've moved past.
Speaking of reminiscing through our episodes, what has been your favorite episode so far?
Oh,
like to record, or that we've recorded, or favorite topic that we've covered so far?
That's hard. And
I know.
I was sharing with Jess before this podcast. Some of my classmates know about this podcast. Hey, Jason. Hey, Gemma. If you guys ever end up watching this.
Hello.
Hi. And Gemma was asking me, what episodes like should we watch? And I was like, well, you don't have to start with the first one. Like, please don't
skip
start
the first one.
Don't do the first one. But I was like, Cara Robinson. Cara.
I can't remember. I think
I know I'm pretty sure Cara.
I had to look it up before we did that episode, and I don't remember anymore. I think it was Cara.
I remember us looking it up, and I remember one of us was wrong about pronunciation, but I don't remember the answer. I was like, oh, that's a good one. Oh, but then also the Not Everyone Is Your Friend, the disappearance of Hanger Hong Lee. Like, that's also a good one, and that's a local Minnesota one.
Yep.
But I was like, wow, we've done a lot of really interesting, really good episodes. Favorite one? I think that one of my favorite to record, if we're saying top 3, like Dyatlov Pass is one of my favorites.
It's up there for me too.
It's definitely up there, but I also really enjoyed our 4-part episode.
The Jeremy and Jasmine case.
Murder in the Suburbs smells like teen
angst.
Angst, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
We go through a lot of that's my contribution to the podcast, titles.
Yeah, I'm not so great with coming up with the clever titles.
Yeah, there's a lot of titles. But I enjoyed recording that one just because I didn't know the story, and like, you had done so much research and you structured that so well that I was literally in the video. You can see like I'm on the edge of the couch several times, and I had to like keep readjusting. Jess would be like, wait, the frame, you got to readjust. I'm like, okay, dang it.
Sorry.
Because I was so invested in it.
That was also the start of the red flag.
That what during a break in recording, I went and got a red kitchen dish towel because I was so upset. I'm like, I need a red flag.
Yeah, I remember. I was like, would that make you feel better, Connie? And you're like, it would if I could just hold the red flag up the whole time. I was like, okay. So I did go on Amazon and I got us a bunch of red flags.
Oh God! The thing was, it actually did make me feel better.
I know. Well, it made me feel better for Twilight. So,
Exactly. They have been very helpful therapeutic tools.
mm-hmm.
Because sometimes you want to say certain things and you don't for reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But being able to take the flag and just go, it relieves something in your heart.
It
feels
does.
good.
It does.
Feels good. And it lets me know when I'm scrolling through and watching our shorts and things. I'm like, oh, that's a red flag action one. What was that? Just click in. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm still mad about whatever it was.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a good. I like that one. But what about you?
And definitely the Outlive Pass. That one was
so much
that
fun.
one was a lot of fun to record. Also, I really liked our Haunted Dolls episode.
Yes. Oh, our spooky ookie month.
Our spooky ookie. That was a fun month to record.
That was a fun month. Was Haunted Dolls the one where you and I got scared out of our wits? Okay, there's an outtake as a short somewhere.
And it's at the very end of the episode. I put it after our theme music.
Yes.
Yep.
Oh my God. Yeah, that was terrified.
Yeah. That was, whew. Yeah, but that was a lot of fun to record though.
I think that was the episode because we had just started recording at your house and we're sitting there going, wait, why are we recording Haunted Dolls in your haunted house?
Makes total sense.
Perfect sense.
Perfect sense. The next question is, what's your dream for the future of the podcast?
I love the podcast and that it gives us the opportunity to like consistently see each other. Otherwise,
yes,
our lives get so busy. And it's like, no, we carve out this time to talk about this. And like, I enjoy the episodes that we do, even though they can be dark and, you know, heavy, but I also really appreciate that we have this space to go through and talk about that stuff because it's like, well, these are things that happen in the world. And like, I would rather know about it than not. So
absolutely.
We get to sit here and then we get to talk with you guys and the comments. And some of you guys have left such wonderful comments.
Some of them are so nice.
They're so nice. And we love it when you guys are like, oh, do you know about this theory? Like we had someone write like a mini novel on our Joan Benet episode.
Yep.
I enjoyed reading that so much. I was
that
like,
was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Dang, thank you.
Yep. Yeah. No, you guys have been awesome. I didn't expect some of the comments that we've gotten. There are some truly incredible comments, but
there are. Y'all have been really nice too. Thank you. Not all internet communities are that nice.
No. I do believe that was one of our reasons for starting this episode. Going back to the first question, I think that was one of our reasons for starting because I was in school and we see each other maybe once every few months. You know, we would call each other, but we would only get together maybe once a quarter. Maybe.
I was gonna say that was high frequency for
I know,
a couple
that
years
was very
there.
high frequency. But yeah, so now it's more of a regular basis. Which is
nice. Very nice. Yeah. And that is another thing, like the community that we have with, of course, everyone online, but also like this has just been so nice at the point in our lives where we are, where it's just like, okay, seeing you, it's another version of therapy where I'm like, okay, I can just go be with Jess and I can turn my brain off in a way because I'm like, you understand me. I don't have to worry about like being misunderstood or anything else. It's just like, okay.
There's no judgment here.
There's no judgment. I'm like, I just get to hang out with Jess and then talk about murder.
Little cherry on top.
Little cherry on top. We talk about everything else before the podcast starts and then we talk about murder.
Yep. Yeah. As we set up, it's a nice little chit chat, catch up. Yeah.
Seriously, folks, make sure you have your own community.
Absolutely, yes.
Oh my God, it's so helpful. That didn't really answer your question.
I mean,
I just want it to keep going.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how much we grow and how much you guys as our audience grows with us.
Absolutely. Yeah, just keeping going and maybe incorporating maybe once a month we do a more uplifting. Who knows what Wednesday?
Yeah, let's get like a safe episode, because my niece, who's 11, like, she has wanted to watch our episodes, and I've told her mom, I'm like,
Probably not.
definitely not Wednesday episodes. Like, maybe the
Maybe the
Twilight one.
Twilight.
Maybe the Twilight one.
As long as she's okay with her reading Twilight.
Yeah,
I know, and that's like,
Well, like, I would love to have those episodes, because a lot of the episodes on the list we talked about, I mean, you named off a couple of them, but really we were just looking for a platform to talk about, some of these hard learned lessons that, we don't want other people to have to learn lessons the same way. So, like, learn from other people's mistakes type of deal. And just kind of like have that older sister knowledge, just like passing it on to you guys. I mean, now the wisdom we pass on is lock your doors.
Lock your doors, be smart, have something with you for protection. Let people know where you are.
Yep. Okay, so there's some good advice in the podcast.
There is some, yeah. Just hidden.
It's just a little different. But what would you like to see from the podcast?
I would like to see, obviously, us continue. I am excited for when we're done with Twilight. We have books lined up that I am so excited about. They are on my desk and I have them ready to go. And I am so ready, but we have one more book to get through.
Yeah. Unfortunately or fortunately, you and I both have the personality type of, it takes a lot for us to abandon something midway through. So we're getting through.
We are getting through.
But I know I've been looking at the book that you gave me, the short one that we want to do. And I'm like, I want to pick it up, but I'm like, I don't want to start it right now because it's going to be a while before we get to it.
I know. I'm like, we gotta get through this. And then, because you're going to want your memory fresh for whatever however we decide to break that up. I haven't figured it out yet because it is shorter. So it's not, anything looks short compared to Breaking Dawn.
I'm looking at the brick right now.
This is Breaking Dawn.
It really is the size of a brick.
This is how far I'm into it. We're getting there. For just starting it, it's not that bad.
It's not. No, my laughter is at, oh my God, there's so much.
Yeah, so I guess looking forward to where I want to see it go. I just want us to continue, and I'm very much looking forward to not something non-Twilight and implementing a nice Who Knows What Wednesday, maybe once a month.
Yeah. I would take that. Yeah.
Not saying that we dislike our Who Knows What Wednesdays. It just gets to be a lot when we're researching it by ourselves at like 11 p.m. at night.
Yeah. Yeah. And we do try to put in a decent amount of research for all this. We don't purport to be experts on anything.
No.
But like, we do multiple sources. There's restructuring. I don't know about you, but I like draft out at least 2-3 times before I get to what I'm actually going to present in the episode.
Yeah. Depending on the episode and how it is looking. Yeah, so it would be nice to have something that's not so research heavy.
Yes. It was when we did start getting into a lot of the research heavy stuff, that was when you and I had way more available time.
Yes.
So like, it wasn't a big deal back then. But now it's like, no.
Yeah.
Between both of us, no.
Okay, moving on to the next section, personal life and careers. What are you both doing now outside of the podcast? That has also changed significantly.
Yeah. It's completely different for both of us.
When we first started the podcast, I was a full-time MBA student. So I have since then graduated. I am back to being a full-time paramedic and just delivered a baby a couple days ago. And then I am also working...
Correction, someone else's baby.
Someone else's baby. I do not have a baby.
Yeah, I just had to clarify because when I told one of my sisters, I'm like, Jess just delivered a baby. She whipped her head around. She's like, what? I'm like, in her as a paramedic, she delivered a baby.
That would have been the biggest secret ever.
That Jenna was saying that. She's like, I was like, I haven't seen her, but
How
I
did
thought
you
I would
not
have
tell
known
me?
if she had that. I was like, yeah, no. Clarifying.
I caught a baby.
She professionally helped a baby.
Yeah.
Caught a baby.
I professionally caught a baby.
Professionally caught a baby catcher.
Yeah, and then I'm also working in the business side as well. So I do have a part-time job as well that I've been doing, and that's been a lot of fun too. You've also been busy.
Yes. So Jess and I decided to flip-flop, apparently.
Yeah, apparently.
Why not? So instead of just being the student, I am now the student. I was working full-time in insurance world when we started this.
Mm-hmm.
And did that for quite a while, but I am now in law school pursuing my JD with the goals of practicing as hopefully a prosecutor in the future. But I'm really open to any areas of law, and I'm at the point where I'm still in my first year. I'm trying to figure everything out.
You're just trying to get everything organized in your head.
I'm learning the foundations of so many major things where I feel so smart and so dumb all at the same time.
It's like the fire hose to your face right now.
Drinking from a fire hose, that's exactly what it feels like.
Yep. What is a fun fact about you that most people don't know?
I feel like we've been so open.
I know, that's why I'm like, What is your go-to, like, 2 truths and a lie thing that, like, you're like, everyone's gonna think it's a lie?
Oh, I haven't done that in a while.
Mine is, I have been to 43 states and I've never been on an airplane.
Oh, that is the fun fact about you. Yeah. I feel like for a long time I did the I can shake my eyes.
Ooh, that's just creepy. Ooh.
There are very few things that I can do to gross Jess out. That is one of. See,
I don't do eyeballs.
I know you don't. And weirdly enough, like I'm fine with them. And most of my mom's side of the family does eyeball shaking. If you think mine are bad, you should see when Jody does hers.
I know, it's just the first time Connie ever did that to me, she didn't tell me what was going on. I was like, oh my gosh, you're gonna have a seizure or something. I was freaking out.
Yeah. In my defense, it usually happened. I'm like a dog with a wagging tail. It would happen when I'd be like, oh, super excited about something. And then like my eyes would shake because I'd be super excited about a lot of stuff. Now I've gotten it a lot more under control because I've freaked out enough people where I'm like, okay, I'm going to have someone like throw holy water on me if I don't get this under control.
Exorcism on Connie.
Which is warranted for other reasons, but yeah, no, I like that one. I wonder if I could. There we go. I don't think the camera would pick it up.
Oh gosh. Especially, I needed a warning.
Sorry. I thought that I wonder was enough.
So the bright lights on you also have blue eyes, so it just ooh.
Okay, well don't look, I'll try it again. Sorry when you're editing. I don't know if it shows up, but
oh gosh.
My bad.
Okay. Well, that's Connie's fun fact that I can't watch.
I'm sorry, you're red in the face. I'm sorry.
Oh gosh.
Oh.
Yeah, there's not a lot of things that gross me out.
Oh, I'm sorry. I find a little too much joy in this. Just because, again, normally in many situations, Jess is like, okay, I'm going to omit some details for you. And I'm like, thank you. I always forget that's the one that throws you. Because to me, it's like as natural as like popping your knuckles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that one. Whew. Okay. Yeah. Let's see. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Oh, that's hard.
I've only ever been in the U.S., so worldwide, I think I might limit mine to the U.S. because I've only been in the U.S.
I'm not nearly as well traveled as you are. And out of country, I've gone to Quebec City, which honestly, girl, we should go there on a trip. That was so much fun. People like to say over here that it's the closest you can get to Europe on this side of the pond, which I mean, it is. It's got a lot of the old like French and I think there are British settlements there as well. Like it was really cool. Where if I was gonna live somewhere, because that was such a walkable city and like there was a lot of really cool historical stuff, I think it would be kind of cool to live there for a while.
Yeah.
I like the idea of living somewhere where everything is walkable, because that is
Yes.
not where I live right now. And like I think it would be cool to live in like some of those Italian towns where like you can have that fresh produce and like the local grocer. That sounds like it would be I don't know if that would be forever, but I would like to try it. What about you?
Again, I'm going to limit myself to the US just because I don't have, I mean, I do love like pictures of like the Netherlands and stuff. Like, I think that would be cool. If I'm limiting myself to the US, Colorado.
Yeah,
It has my heart.
From the pictures you've shown me, I really want to go.
It's one of my favorite places. I've been several times, and every time I go, I'm like, oh, I just don't want to leave. It's, yeah.
I feel that.
It's nice.
It'd be nice to live somewhere. I have a love for winter, but it gets a little old.
Yeah. Well, and that's the nice part about Colorado. If you want to see winter, just go up into the mountains.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Like I would love to live somewhere where you can still have that warmth. Because when we visit my in-laws in Florida, like I love visiting them because it's so warm and beautiful. And for those who are outside the U.S., Florida is a great place to visit during the winter. But when they get their hot and humid months, nope, I don't want to live there. Nope. That's why a lot of us like Minnesota, because for most of the year it is really beautiful.
It is.
And then there's always times where
no one wants to be here.
No one wants to be here.
Next question. If you had to describe each other in 3 words, what would they be?
Oh. Well, I feel like for both of us, squirrely.
Yeah. I definitely see squirrely.
Especially when together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Say energetic and outgoing for yours. Yeah. For your 2 other ones besides squirrely.
Yeah. No, I would say that fits. For you, I was going to say strategic, in that you are never without some form of a plan. And I mean that in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Say strategic. I would also say committed. Like that's one of the things I admire about you is when you are committed to something, I don't see you waver, no matter what it is. If it's small or big, like you're always committed. If you tear, I tear. Just a heads up.
You gave reasons. I wasn't expecting reasons.
I know. And then it was like, this is sweet. And I'm like, oh, I love you. And I'm like, now I'm tearing up.
No, we're not looking at each other. No eye contact is being made.
Okay, so the fourth thing is maybe we're both we're emotional, but we're not we're emotional with each other. We're sympathetic emotionally.
Yeah.
Empathetic emotionally.
Let us know in the comments.
Sympathetic criers. I don't.
Yeah.
There's a reason that on some of the happiest days we've had in our life, i.e., our weddings, we barely looked at each other because we're like, no, if she cries, I cry. So, love you. Look this way.
Yeah. Next, do you believe in ghosts or any supernatural things? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. For those who have watched our Spooky Ookie, which episode was it that Ted decided?
I don't remember which one that was.
Oh, there is one of our Spooky Ookie episodes. There's 5 of those episodes. And the light behind, this is always so hard to figure, even after a year of recording.
There you go.
It's still trying to like look at the screen and figure out pointing things. It's still hard. This light changed colors in the middle of filming.
I think it was Bell Witch.
I think it was Bell Witch. We didn't realize it until editing, where Jess sent me a video like as she's recording her screen as she's editing. She's like, Why did the light change?
I didn't even know that it did that.
Nothing was touching the light.
Nope. Nothing.
No one
At
else
all.
was in the house besides us.
Nope.
So yeah, we believe in ghosts.
What is something random that you're obsessed with right now? Audiobooks.
I was going to say for you, audiobooks.
Yeah.
I know a particular series, yes.
We're not saying what series.
I say nothing. For me, I mean, maybe if you count, like, I don't remember if this was on an outtake already, but like my little obsession, because I don't have time to do jack squat right now.
No.
But when I've procrastinated this week, because you get to a point where you just, if you look at one more textbook, you're going to lose your mind. But then I feel too guilty to do anything else. So I've ended up watching how to solve SAT math problems. And so that's what I've been doing. And like, I find comfort and I love like watching through them. And now I've watched enough that I'm starting to see similar problems come up. And I'm like, I think I know how to solve this.
It's because there's a problem and there's a solution.
There is. And it's scratching at the back of my mind because I haven't taken a math class since
Years. Undergrad?
I did statistics in undergrad, but I mean that is a math class. Otherwise,
Technically.
junior year of high school was the last
So it's
time
been
I
a
was
hot
required.
minute.
Yeah. Yeah, I got really lucky and I bumped myself ahead in math early on in school so that they were like, well, if you want, we can put you in another advanced class for senior year. And I'm like, or I can do PSEO, go to college for free in high school and not do that.
Ding, ding, ding.
That's what I did.
Yep. All right. So now we're in the random questions. So you will love this one. And again, keep in mind, ChatGPT came up with these questions. I did say it was for our podcast, and it's helped me come up with enough descriptions that it has a good idea of what our podcast is about. If you were in a horror movie, would you survive? Why or why not?
So my instinct is to say yes because I look at the spooky stuff and I go, absolutely not. And I turn around.
Yep.
Someone's like, we should split up. And I'm like, we're not Scooby-Doo. No, stick together. Circle formation. One person also has to look up because something always comes from the ceiling. Like, I want to say yes. But then also I can see myself getting mad enough at my group where I'm like, really? You find a cursed book bound in human leather and you decide to read from it? Have fun with that. Now we are splitting up. I'm
Yep.
getting the hell out of here.
Yep.
So that's where I want to say I sit.
I don't know. My instinct is to say yes because we have this podcast. We've done enough stuff. I've seen enough stuff in real life that I feel like I would do pretty. How about this? The probability is pretty high,
Yeah.
but there is that part of like, what if they can run faster than me? What if someone's coming at me with stabby stabby? I'll bring it back. But if someone's coming at me with stabby stabby and they're running, what if they're a faster runner than me?
What if we trip?
Exactly.
I don't often trip while running, but I feel like that would be the time.
Yep.
And then I'm just going to be, actually, that might work in my favor because I'm going to be so mad that I tripped that my
Be full of rage.
full of rage. We talked earlier, rage is a motivator at times. And I'm going to be like, no, I'm not dying like this. Absolutely not. So, maybe we hope for the best because adrenaline is a heck of a drug.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Well, I would just assume we won't be in the situations.
I know. I'm assuming we don't get ourselves into that situations, but if somehow we found ourselves in that situation.
Right. We walked through a version of this question in which episode? It was the one where
the clowns?
no, not the clowns.
Oh.
It was the one where the woman kept hearing children laughing or crying in her basement, and she went to go investigate it. It was one of the
that was
haunted
the dolls.
one. That was the dolls
Yeah.
one. Yeah, and she went down there and investigated it on her own.
Yep.
We had a whole thing where we're like, absolutely not. If we hear that, we're calling the police and each other. Like, it's not even, and a
Mm-mm.
priest and no, we don't go to the basement to check it out with love. I'm not going in your basement if I hear something scary. I don't want to go in my basement if I hear something
I don't want to
scary.
go in any basement if it sounds.
I don't
Who?
either.
On that note, what is a book, movie, or show that you think is super underrated?
Oh, I love the show Firefly from back in the day. Girl, I'll have to find it and send it to you. It is, bear with me. This is going to sound so weird and like it shouldn't work at all, but it does. It is a cowboy western set in space. It sounds
Okay.
so weird. It is such a good show, and Fox canceled it.
They always do that.
They
with good
always
things.
do that, and like so many other shows have made fun of Fox canceling it because like people love Firefly so much that they made a movie to wrap it up, and like they
Oh,
even made a
really?
comic series.
Oh, wow.
So like there's a lot of cool stuff, but I love that one. That's one that I will put on just to rewatch, and it shouldn't work, but it does. Yeah, because like nothing, if you know me, like cowboy space alien thing is not my vibe. I love it so much. Such a good show.
I've never heard of it.
No, I can see your mom not wanting that to be on in your household.
Probably not.
No, but a preacher was one of the main characters, so you think she would have liked it, but that's mine. What about yours?
I'm going to go book.
Ooh.
Book series, The Giver. Not just The Giver, all of them. All of them. Whole series.
That's right. I remember I didn't know until you told me that it was a series. Like we read the one book and I thought it was weird how it left off. I'm like, I feel like there's supposed to be more, but then we didn't hear anything else about it.
I didn't realize that it was a series until I think it may have been like 6 years ago. So I'm in my 20s, early 20s, but like maybe I was like 22 or 23. And I learned about it and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. One, why did they only make one movie? And two, like, it is incredible.
I remember that one day, I think it was early on in podcast recording, when like you and I sat down and you told me like the entire plot of every single book. And I was like, oh, this is like so interesting. And why didn't we read more of that in school? Like I would have found it a lot more interesting. But also,
That's not why they were having you read it to begin with, though.
That's true.
It's not entertainment. It's to tell what am I trying to say? It's the lessons in the book that is why you're reading it. It's not for the enjoyment purposes, even though it's an incredible book.
It is. It's definitely a thought-provoking book.
And all of them get that way.
They do. I still remember. Yeah, no, it is in The Giver. I'm making sure I'm like, wait, I'm not confusing this with one of the second books that you and I talked. No, it was in the first book. When the main character, whose name I'm forgetting right now. Jonas. Yeah. When he learns what his dad does about sending the babies to the other side and like realizing
they're releasing them.
There it is. Like, oh, I remember and I was like, what? And they're all like, you can't lie. And then Jonas is able to watch the video and like he had asked his dad, like, you weren't a part of releasing the babies, were you? And the dad's like, no. And then like the video shows the dad clearly being the one to release the kids. And I remember reading that like, oh my God.
Well, he did tell him that he was releasing them. It was more of Jonas understood what releasing meant. Even though his father was doing that, he did not understand what it meant.
There we go. Okay, maybe that's how I remember it. Again,
but it's still
a while ago. It was still just like that was a moment where I think it was literally on the next page. It was a real page turner in that way. And I remember just turning it and being like, oh my God. That was one of the many books that my teachers would always be like, now remember, you can only read until chapter 4 and then you have to stop so we can have class discussion.
No,
if I'm liking the book, I finish the book.
I'm going to keep going.
Yes. If y'all can't keep up, that's a you problem.
Yeah. So, yeah, definitely that series.
Definitely that. Yeah.
Yep. What is your guilty pleasure TV show?
I mean, I'll circle through shows from my childhood
Yeah.
when I'm stressed. Winx Club is a big one. Love that one. The 4Kids version. Like 4Kids TV network.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. I'll rewatch like Class of the Titans. That was also a kids show. I'll rewatch the old He-Man and She-Ra from like the 80s because that was on late at night cartoons and my parents would not pay for cable. That was not a necessity.
Mm-mm.
Like no, and I don't blame them. Honestly, as a
No.
parent, I'm like I'm not going to get cable for my
No.
kids. But so like that was on Channel 41. that would start playing at 8 o'clock at night, and so I'd watch the
Absolutely.
cartoons. Oh, those are some nice ones that I throw on where I'm like, I'm stressed, life is hard. Let's throw on a
Just need
Barbie
to-
movie or one of these things.
Yeah. Throw in something where you don't have to think.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. But not trash TV. It's like it's a
Right.
different type of yeah.
Absolutely. I have a couple. I would say I circle back to, you might judge me for this, Pretty Little Liars. I do circle back to that one pretty often, or the originals, the spin-off of the Vampire Diaries. Specifically, not the Vampire Diaries. I will rewatch the originals.
I didn't get into Pretty Little Liars, but at the same time that was airing, there was a show called The 9 Lives of Chloe King. It was based on a book. I haven't read the book, and apparently the show was like a complete deviation of the book. But I watched that one because I had the free trial of Hulu, and we had the old family laptop that really probably gave secondary burns if you left it on your lap too long. But I would pull up Hulu because that's where you could get Hulu at the time, because we're not old, but we're just old enough that we're streaming services not really a thing just yet. Like we got the internet in the mail in the form of DVDs.
Yes.
But I would pull that up each week and watch The 9 Lives of Chloe King. Huh. I forgot about that. It would always offer Pretty Little Liars afterwards, but I didn't get into it.
Yeah. I didn't get into it until, I have to add one. One Tree Hill. I forgot about One Tree Hill. Oh, so good.
I didn't watch enough. I know it happened.
Yeah, I didn't get into any of those until I was in college. And that's probably why I'm like, those are my comfort, whatever. But
I feel that. Oh, I should add to mine. I grew up watching Xena Warrior Princess. I loved that one. Lucy Lawless is a beautiful woman. Like, still love anything she does to this day. Yeah, you think my eyes are blue? Hers are like insane. But that was a good one. And then also, oh no, it just slipped my brain. Oh, Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
oh, yeah, I've never watched that one, but I've seen clips. It's on my eventually. I'm really bad about watching TV shows.
So am I.
I'm too antsy for that.
Same. Well, I don't have time, but also
Yeah,
like
but yeah.
yeah, I didn't watch that one in its entirety, and it got to the point where my parents were like, yeah, no, we're not really gonna watch it anymore, because I think it was just kind of like on TV, and they were like, yeah, whatever, she's not doing a whole lot.
Yeah.
But it got a little too scary, I think, at one point, and they're like,
That's
okay,
fair.
maybe not for the kids.
That's fair.
Yeah. Oh, good movies or good TVs.
Yeah.
Good memories.
I have to chuckle at this one. I don't think we'll be able to answer it, but you all will know if you're regulars on our Who Knows What Wednesdays. What is the weirdest thing you've ever Googled? I don't know how to answer that.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Honestly, our search history from this podcast. Okay, maybe that's the bad thing that's come out of this podcast is like
Our
maybe
search history.
we're on a list somewhere, because some of those, and like especially after Dyatlov passed and we're researching theories and we're like, okay, well, like bodies decaying and like this.
Yep.
I'm like, that looks Out
really
of context, so bad.
bad. Yep. Yeah, like I said, we probably won't be able to answer it. I'm going to acknowledge the question.
We'll acknowledge. Recently, I can think of one when we had to get the official definition for necrophilia
Oh, yeah, that's really bad.
because we had to expand it because we're like, we think it means this, but then like this case is saying that like it's not
That it
actually
was more
necrophilia. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that was
That was okay. That is probably the worst thing we've ever had to Google.
that was the worst one. Second, maybe by Ted Bundy bite tattoos. That one was pretty bad too. That was,
Great. Last question here. And I have to say, ChatGPT did a pretty good job here. Would you rather be a vampire, a werewolf, or a ghost?
Okay, ghost is off the table right away. That is the one with the least amount of autonomy, so no. Okay, like I need to know what type of vampire, what type of ghost. Like what are we talking like Vampire Diaries level? Are we talking Twilight? Are we talking like Underworld series movies? Great
You're
movies.
going deep into this. I know it's you. I should have
It's me, and
that.
also the change of how I've had to think about answering questions.
Whichever version of vampires and werewolves you want to view, whatever your favorite vampire is.
I don't know because I like Twilight universe. I would rather be a werewolf.
Same for Twilight universe. Yeah, I would not want to be a vampire in that world.
No.
But if we're talking like Vampire Diary world, where those, I would much rather be a vampire.
Yeah, that one, vampire. Underworld. Well, they had some hybrids between the two, but like that one I'd rather be vampire too. I don't know. I like the idea of the extreme strength and the speed and being like super pretty shiny.
Oh gosh, you want to sparkle in the sun, Connie? Or is it like Vampire Diaries and you go poof in the sun?
If I had to choose between the two, I'd rather sparkle than poof.
Well, yeah.
What a sentence.
Oh, welcome to Chaos Chronicles.
That's a hard one. The only thing that I'm like 100% sure of is in Vampire, or no. In Twilight, I would rather be a werewolf.
That is fair.
Oh, but they have the shared conscience. Consciousness. No, conscience. No, they don't have a conscience. They have consciousness.
Only if the others are also werewolves. But it is kind of, it has its good and bad.
So, like, maybe if it didn't have that, I'd be like, oh my gosh, yes, werewolf. But, like, I'm giving pause.
That's fair.
No pun intended.
That's fair. Yeah.
I'm going to think about that one for a while.
Let us know below, would you rather be a vampire, a werewolf, or a ghost? Let us know what kind of vampire or werewolf, or ghost if you really want to be.
I love how we're both just in agreement of ghost isn't really an option. No offense, Ted.
If I could be like a Harry Potter, what's his name?
Nearly Headless Nick?
No. The poltergeist.
Because
he's only in the books. I have Google in front of me. Peeves.
There we are.
Why did that take me so long? Peeves. Do you want to be like Casper the Friendly Ghost? Do you want to be like Ted, or do you want to be like Peeves? Let us know.
Yeah. Interesting.
But that was my last question.
It's a real thinker. And it actually is a real thinker.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, this has been fun.
Yeah.
This has been nice. Just
nice change. Nice
change.
Of pace.
Yeah, it's a different who knows what Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
I swear, I mess up saying that at least once a recording day.
Oh, that's okay.
When you're saying it fast enough and you're thinking but you're not thinking, the H's and the who's and the what's and the where's, it just kind of...
Who knows what's Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But thank you to you guys for joining us, not only on today's episode, but
For the past year.
Past year. And for those who are just joining us, welcome. We look forward to seeing you next year at our 2-year video. We always appreciate emails, comments, likes, recommendations for episodes, whether they be true crime based or maybe even, like, hey,
Random
maybe you
topic.
guys do want to have like a more upbeat episode. But yeah, that's really all I got.
Yeah. Well, on that note, thank you guys, and we will see you either on Saturday or next week.
That's right.
Bye.
Adios.